Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel BNB Daily Spoiler. Will cannot control her jealousy over RJ and Dylan.
Will RJ Forrester's flirtation with Melissa Dillon cause Spencer's jealousy to explode? At Forrester Creations, RJ Forrester meets Melissa Dillon, and they click right away. When Will Spencer sees them flirting, his jealous outburst could end their relationship. Will Spencer become envious when RJ Forrester advances on Melissa Dillon? Melissa Dillon and RJ Forrester meet at Forrester Creations on Bold and the Beautiful, and they click right away. A Valentine's Day catastrophe for BNB's younger clientele could result from Will Spencer's jealous reaction when he witnesses them flirting, which could end his relationship with Electra Forrester. When RJ Forrester enters, everything is altered. For some time now, Bold and the Beautiful's younger cast has been operating automatically. No heat, pleasant dates, and courteous chats. An iceberg is ready to strike that cozy small cruise. Melissa Dillon and RJ Forrester finally meet at Forrester Creations, and they click right away. Not the courteous small conversation that fans have endured for months, but genuine sparks. Right there in the workplace, RJ begins to flirt with Dillon, and the disaster quickly follows. The issue? Well, Spencer witnesses it, and his response is far from composed. According to Soap Opera Spy, RJ may actually spend Valentine's Day with Dillon, supporting the scenario. We'll be privy to a romance that he obviously does not want to occur if that is the case. The warning from both sources is the same. We'll be unable to conceal his emotions when Dillon and RJ become close. That isn't the voice of the protective instinct. That's jealousy, that's all. The big plan of Electra Forrester backfires. This is where things start to get very good. According to reports, Electra Forrester devises what she believes to be a wonderful plan. Hire Dillon to work as a receptionist at Forrester Creations. It makes logical on paper. Give the girl financial autonomy. Remove her from Will's guest house at the beach pad in Malibu, and permanently erase that awkward dependency. It's not even close to exercising. Electra essentially gave RJ a free pass by stationing Dillon at the front desk of the building where she works every day. She placed Dillon squarely in RJ Forrester's orbit rather than taking her out of the equation. Well, Spencer is now having trouble sleeping because of the flirting. It was made possible by Electra. That wound, which was self-inflicted, will have a significant impact. The evidence of Spencer's DNA. Let's just call it that. Will's affection for Dillon extends beyond his desire to keep someone safe who survived the Luna Nozawa tragedy. He adopted her. He provided her with lodging. Through it all, he has been her safety net. And the mask is coming off quickly now that another man is expressing attention, particularly one Will already has complex feelings for. Will Spencer is responding as a man would when he sees someone else occupy what he secretly believes to be his. Longtime fans who are aware of Dollar Bill's history of possessive love breakdowns may see the DNA at work at that moment. It's Bill Spencer energy. The fruit fell close to the tree. Electra will be the true victim of all of this. She senses a change. She is aware of Will's partial presence. And their relationship will fall apart when Valentine's Day rolls around, and Will Spencer is unable to maintain his calm when RJ and Dillon are laughing together across the room. The same conclusion is predicted by two different sources. Will's jealousy destroys his own romance. What will happen to this Valentine triangle next? Could Will and Electra's relationship be over? If Valentine's Day is the breaking point from which they are unable to recover, don't be shocked. Will's history of trauma and his father's illustrious reputation mean that this jealousy won't go away on its own. Then there is the wild card, which isn't discussed enough. Ivy Forrester attempted to give Dillon cash so he could get out of town. For a female who has nothing to hide, you wouldn't do that. Ivy's knowledge of Dillon's past has the potential to transform this triangle into something far more sinister than a straightforward romance. We'll go crazy if RJ and Dillon end up being the next hot pair on Bold and the Beautiful. And there is never a tranquil ending for Spencer Man in full spiral mode. This younger demographic is just getting started. So check out the most recent spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful to discover what happens next. Spoilers for the Bold and the Beautiful. Well, Spencer exposes Dylan's flirtation with RJ out of jealousy. Dylan touches RJ's shoulder casually, engages in near-flirtatious banter, and makes a private joke that makes RJ lean forward. Will, however, interprets those touches as punctuation on a phrase he's been hesitant to speak out loud. The situation elicits jealousy regardless of whether Will is RJ's boyfriend, has a secret crush on him, or is otherwise emotionally involved. Will comes over. The sparks appear instantly. "Cut it out," he says in a stern, low voice. Puzzled, Dylan pretends it doesn't happen. He maintains that he was merely being pleasant and has always had a roguish charisma. RJ glances uncomfortably from man to man. Will walks away with his jaw set as the scene comes to a conclusion. They have planted the seeds of a quarrel. The argument, resonant words, Will never forgets. He corners Dylan in the elevator at Spencer Publications in a subsequent scene. Will accuses Dylan of crossing lines in the brief but ruthless exchange, to which Dylan responds that he was unaware such lines existed. Tempers rise. Dylan's charm, which is part provocation and half innocence, becomes a weapon in and of itself. "You should tell RJ how you feel instead of policing other people," he says in a casual way, which hurts. The audience can discern everything from Will's flinch. RJ, meantime, gets mixed backing from surprising sources. After years of knowing Will, Steffi advises him to calm down, while Finn suggests showing empathy. Will's pride, however, is hurt. That night, he storms into RJ's apartment, and a heated private dispute breaks out, full of the unsaid elements that make soap operas so compelling. Will wants allegiance, while RJ maintains that he cherishes Dylan's relationship. Both men are left reeling as the action closes with RJ exiting through the door. The social media firestorm and the rumor mill. Pictures from the barbecue that a nosy neighbor took end up online, while pouting in the background, Dylan giggling uncomfortably near to RJ. The tabloids get in as fans at the intersection of Forrester and Spencer gasp. Will tweet something cryptic. Dylan answers with a cold, vague statement. RJ, who had planned to keep his romantic life private, is suddenly being scrutinized by the public. The social media component adds complexity. Bill Spencer sees opportunity in spin, influence, and damage control, but Will doesn't like his tactics. He prefers private responses to public relations. The conflict turns into a classic soap opera double whammy, causing both private suffering and public spectacle. Motives exposed. Dylan is examined in greater detail. Does he have an ulterior motive, or is he naturally flirtatious? Flashbacks reveal Dylan's complex relationship history. He has previously used charm as leverage, sometimes to avoid genuine emotions and other times to survive. He says he likes RJ now. However, viewers should use caution because Dylan is also adept at deceiving. He might flirt for unclear motives, because he likes attention, because he is attracted to RJ, or because he wants to agitate Will. Will, on the other hand, is dealing with a wound that extends beyond jealousy. He perceives Dylan's casual conduct as a threat to stability because he recalls betrayals from his past, whether real or imagined. Will is forced to make a hard decision between openly exposing Dylan and discreetly defending RJ's allegiance due to his pride, family expectations, and the public scrutiny. He chooses conflict. The bust in public, a battle that transforms everything. The crucial scene. Will practically storms into a gallery opening where Dylan and RJ are having a conversation with friends they both share. Will slams his hand on a cocktail table in front of a party full of stylish visitors and flashing cameras, accusing Dylan of seducing his partner, friend, or RJ, depending on how you define their relationship. Dylan, who never backs down from a scene, chuckles before losing it. The dispute turns into name-calling and is savage and unfiltered. RJ storms off, embarrassed to be at the center of such public drama. The fallout is captured on camera by someone. The video is popular. For fireworks enthusiasts, this is the pinnacle of daytime television drama. Intense emotions, significant stakes, and an unforgettable humiliation. Fallout. Friendship and family reveal their teeth. Following the public uproar, the circles of Spencer and Forrester parted ways. While some feel Will went too far, Will's pals praise his aggression as a way to defend what's rightfully his. Dylan's supporters stand up for him, claiming he is not the villain Will portrays him as and that he is an open book. RJ, who desires peace, is confined by both sides' loyalty tests. Family gatherings become more tense. Bill chastises Will for causing PR catastrophes, as Katie begs him to apologize. Finn tries to mediate, while Steffi frets about the harm to the family name. Dylan acknowledges that he is drawn to RJ, but also acknowledges that he could have gone too far when he visits a therapist, or at the very least, has a sober talk with a confidant. Viewers are kept in suspense by the intricacy of motives. Is Dylan a genuine suitor, a boundary-pushing flirt, or a provocateur testing Will? Secrets and an unexpected friend. An unforeseen turn of events occurs just when it looks like the trio will collapse due to the rivalry. RJ discloses a secret. He has been hiding something from both men, which could be a personal conflict or a previous relationship that partially explains his conflicting messages. It's possible that RJ isn't ready for a relationship, that he's struggling with identity issues, or that he was attempting to divert attention in order to protect someone else. Moral clarity is complicated by the secret. Dylan and will have to deal with RJ's independence in addition to each other. Here comes Hope, or another sympathetic character, a surprising ally who gives Will a mirror and gives RJ some space. Hope's involvement is essential. She reminds Dylan that charm without permission is deadly and informs Will that envy isn't love. The drama is not resolved by this moral center, but it makes the three of them think about the repercussions. A short-term truce and an emerging danger. Cooler heads win for a second. Will and Dylan reluctantly decide to take a back seat while RJ works things out. Through a polite brunch, smiles for the cameras, and a carefully planned reconciliation, they publicly declare a ceasefire. However, soap operas thrive on sabotage. A corporate rival uses the controversy as leverage to damage Will's reputation. An anonymous text exposes a private video, or a jealous ex reappears. Using the Spencer/Dylan issue as leverage in corporate maneuvers is where Quinn, or another con artist, enters the picture. Political issues arise from the personal. Bill fumes as Will's adversaries mutter that his volatility renders him unable to lead a business. Conveniently, Dylan is offered a work chance that would take him away. This would allow him to get closer to RJ without the attention or avoid the issue. The betrayal that causes the most pain. When someone violates confidence, that's when the true gut punch comes. Perhaps Dylan admits to a weakness he had with RJ, such as an uninvited kiss or an impetuous reach, and then says it was reciprocal, something RJ disputes. Perhaps Will ruins Dylan's reputation by leaking a private chat to the media out of retaliation. Regardless of the form, one of these men goes too far to allow for reconciliation. The consequences are instantaneous. Friends openly take sides. When faced with an ethical dilemma, RJ decides to stay in neither lane for the time being. By separating himself from both men, he makes Dylan face the repercussions of his flirtations and will face the price of his jealousy. An important choice and a traditional cliffhanger. Everything rushes to a decisive decision. Wounded and worn out, Will must decide whether to continue the public battle and risk losing his family's support and business influence, or to take a back seat and defend RJ in a more healthy way in private. After being revealed and reprimanded, Dylan either intensifies his search or disappears, only to come back with a scheme that takes everyone by surprise. RJ vanishes for a full day. No calls, no messages, as the program comes to a cliffhanger. At sunset, the last scene takes place at a small dock. Desperate, Will is there, pacing. Dylan also shows up, panting. A sheriff's cruiser approaches as they are both gazing out to the lake. A close-up of a crumpled note that reads, "I need time," is shown in RJ's pocket. The spectator is left wondering whether RJ will return to one of them, to himself, or to a place none of them can follow as the screen fades to dark on Will's expression, which is a mixture of dread and rage. Next steps, themes, and emotional reward. Because it trades in complexity rather than neat resolves, this plot will last longer than a week. Anticipate. Emotional complexity. None of the men are virtuous or evil. RJ's agency is crucial. Dylan's infatuation is endearing but risky, and Will's jealousy is realistic. Family fallout. Because the Spencers are a publicity-driven clan, anticipate boardroom repercussions, family interventions, and changes of allegiance. Private versus public drama. Staged reconciliations, social media, and tabloids will exacerbate personal hurts and make forgiveness more difficult. A character reckoning. Someone will have to mature. Either Dylan learns responsibility, RJ learns to stand up for himself without giving in to peer pressure, or Will learns to control his possessiveness. A gradual reward. Fans won't experience a romantic reunion right away. Expect a lengthy storyline that rewards patience in soap operas that are buzzy with payoff. Last hint. Jealousy is a powerful soap ingredient that may make seemingly insignificant deeds profound. While exposing Dylan's flirtation with RJ is more than just one scene. It's a match thrown into a bag of history, pride, and public perception. Will the trio disperse like charred paper in the wind, sabotage a friendship, or come to an understanding? Watch to see who shifts, who steps up, and who leaves, because empires and hearts are just as brittle in the world of the bold and the beautiful.